Chase, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice to see Wetzel out there.
It was awesome to see him and Parker both. But specifically Wenzel, you know, we brought him up here to get the final checkoff of what he's been doing. I mean, he's been working really hard. We've been in touch with his program and everything he's doing, but it's just a little different when you come to the big leagues and check in with the staff and the players, coaches. So it's exciting to see him moving around with freedom and no issues and no problems.
Said Thursday, somewhere on Thursday, West Michigan to kind of start. Is that?
Yeah, we'll announce it as we go. I mean, obviously we're leaving on Wednesday night. We're off on Thursday, so we'll have to make some decisions at that point. That would be perfect. He's got some tests to pass before we can put that plan in motion, but that'd be ideal.
You talked yesterday about all the right-handed hitters, or pitchers that you're going to be facing. Just seeing him kind of hits the fact that, you know, it'd be a good time to have him right, the left-handed bat. Are you, you know, as it is now with the roster, I mean, do you feel like lefty enough to deal with that kind of run of right-handed?
Oh, plenty. Yeah, no, we have the roster configuration to handle lefties or righties. I think where it runs into is just the number of games in a row, and then the way our schedule has gone with the doubleheader in Colorado in general. These games here, there are two things that come up. One is getting Andy and Jay-Hen, you know, a little bit more in the mix. If they bring a lefty in, I can pinch hit if I want, but they don't get many at bats. And two, as you look at Sweeney, Riley, Carp, they play every game. And again, we want them in the lineup as much as possible, but there's no natural break for them to maybe get a little bit of rest, so that over a 30-day period, you know, we're not just running the gas tank to empty and then giving them a day off once you guys are asking me about dry spells or slumps or not looking right. That's really the issue with facing, I think it's 20 out of 22 right-handed pitchers.
Saw Cater Montero in the clubhouse.
Yeah. He'll be here tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, he's going to be active tomorrow. It's a day of acclimation. He may have spent more days in the big leagues, either on acclimation days or start days, than anywhere else. But he will be active tomorrow. He may or may not start. We may open for him. We might start him. We'll determine. I'll be able to announce that after the game tonight. But it's so nice to have Cater available and able to handle this role of uncertainty. You know, he deserves every opportunity that we have, and we've literally given him, you know, every opportunity that we do have in the rotation. So when we say goodbye, a couple days later we say hello again, and you know, we'll see where it leads us. Hopefully to a win tomorrow.
A.J., throughout the baseball season, even the best clubs, you know, kind of have little downtrends. How have you guys been able to, by and large, avoid 3-game losing streaks? You haven't had one since the beginning of the season.
Is that a downtrend? Like, is 2 games a downtrend?
It's just.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just think we see it as 1 game. I don't really think that this team functions on anything other than what's in front of us. You know, it's the only way we know how to operate, because if you look at our schedule, we're going to have a lot of these games. So we don't even look at it in increments outside of a series. Like, we know what happened last series. We know what happened the series before. We don't know what's going to happen this series. But we really do try to center focus on, we got our hands full with Tanner Houck. And so we don't show up today with anything other than attention towards beating him and dealing with their balanced lineup. And they've got a pretty good bullpen, and they got a creative manager like that. We shift right away to that. That's a lot of time and brain space to deal with that, let alone a reflection. Like, we don't reflect. We just get to the next game, and we're going to have more winning streaks. We're going to have more losing streaks. We're going to play the baseball season, you know? So I guess I know it's not necessarily the answer that is easy, but it's what it is.
There's been a lot of headlines and stories surrounding the Red Sox as of late, but just, you mentioned it. Winning are your impressions of this team?
Yeah, very talented team. They're very, they're very energetic. They got a lot of ways to beat you. They create a lot of havoc because they've got speed, they've got power, they've got balance. They don't care left, right. The handedness doesn't really impact their guys. We missed Crochet this go round, but they have a beast at the top of their rotation. They have capable starters. They have a good bullpen. Their record doesn't really reflect exactly, how you could tell me this team was 15 games over 500 and I would believe you, because they can put good games together. So you got to play well. You got to play clean. They will thrive if you give them, extra outs and extra opportunities, because generally speaking, when they roll a lineup out there, they've got real strengths. And so we got to pound the strike zone and get back to controlling the competition by controlling the leverage and counts.
There's an anticipation that Bregman's going to get booed tonight. Do you understand why the fans, for whatever reason, right or wrong, feel, I don't know, butthurt for a lack of a better term, that he didn't come here?
Make sure you put his name by that quote, not mine. What, my comment on Bregman?
That he might get booed tonight because people wanted him so bad he didn't come.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it. There's an emotional attachment to public conversations or public pursuits, and it is what it is. I don't know if there's been an opposing ballpark that Alex Bregman hasn't gotten booed in, whether it's about potentially coming to a place or not. So it won't bother him, but our fans will support the Tigers as they should.
A.J., you mentioned Alex Cora as a creative manager. How does that show up in game?
Yeah, he will do a lot of things to try to put pressure on you. A lot of it is the initial lineup that he puts out there. But I've seen him start runners at unique times trying to wake his offense up. I've seen him put runners in motion a lot in action where he thinks he's going to get strikes, and all of a sudden you create some first and thirds and first to homes. He will be aggressive with bullpen moves. He is unafraid to make pitching changes. He doesn't have some, philosophy set in stone that he's trying to follow. He's just trying to win the game. So I see him as someone who's always going to try to be the aggressor in trying to win the game. And the only time that he stops trying to win the game is when you get the 27th out. And I've always respected that about him. It's something I know about him when I had him on my staff, and his teams embody that type of 27-out mentality.
Chase, success hasn't come instantaneous for him, but kind of in the bigger picture, you learned anything about what it takes for young hitters to succeed, kind of modern.
With Jace? Yeah, I think with Jace, first off, I love him as a player. I love his mentality. I think he can do some things to help teams win. I think what happens oftentimes is the prove it mentality can create another hill to climb. When he got sent down, he took it as hard as any player that I sent down this year in that conversation, and he's constantly trying to prove that he belongs and prove that he can conquer this level and not have to go back down. And I think that brings an edge to him. It also brings another hill to climb when he's trying to be the best version of himself. So it's easy on the outside to say, hey, just take a deep breath and relax, see the ball, hit the ball, make the plays at third. He's played a pretty good third base. But I think it's all growing pains for him, trying to settle in at a level that he hasn't conquered yet. And I know it's hard on a team when you're in the lineup, out of the lineup. He's actually gotten a pretty decent runway recently, and I told him today when we met, I said, well, you have a chance to help us win tonight off the bench. Tomorrow you're going to face Bayo, and we expect you to sort of find that edge and use that energy towards the competition. So young players, they often want to do everything every at bat, and he's going to work, and he's going to continue to try to make some adjustments to address some of the things that they're doing against him at this level.